Hello, freak bitches.
I think maybe one of the most impressive things, or confusing, or unexpected, was how fucking good GSP looked. The dude's gone for 4 years, comes back, and immediately I see him moving around and popping the jab, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, he looks like GSP.
I wasn't that. And everyone's like, "Oh, here's Shab, the hater." No, I wasn't that in love with GSP's performance.
You weren't?
I thought he looked good. I thought he looked heavy. I didn't think he looked as, obviously he put on some pounds.
He was thick.
He was thick, like Three Musketeer thick.
Yeah.
I thought he put on some pounds, and his cardio wasn't that great. And he had cardio for days before.
Yeah, he definitely was suffering a little bit because of that, and also it has to be a big factor. 4 years off, just the nerves and all that jazz.
Huge factor.
And the struggle to hold Bisping down. Bisping's fucking hard, and honestly, taking him down was one of the worst things that could have happened. He got cut the fuck up.
Bisping didn't work down there.
Yeah.
And what I was worried if it went to decision, I thought Bisping's actually winning, even though GSP got him down for that portion. If the hopefully the judges see that Bisping's doing the damage down there.
Oh, for sure.
That should count in their eyes.
I agree 100%. The only time that's ever really counted, though, in a fight is Kevin Randleman versus Boss Rutten. Remember? Kevin Randleman took Boss Rutten down, but Boss Rutten was beating the shit out of him from the bottom, and Randleman didn't do anything. But a lot of people were super outraged after that decision. That was a weird one because most of the fight was spent with Boss on the bottom and Randleman on top.
That's old school. I think GSP obviously looked great, passed the test. I always look what's next. I thought Bisping was super hesitant because for this reason they trained earlier, right? They trained in 2008, and I guess 2006, so a while ago. I guess GSP just kind of mopped the floor with him, like kind of did whatever he wanted. So then I think GSP's camp and their thinking was, all right, middleweight's really not where we should be at, but Bisping's kind of easy pickings for us. We might as well go get the belt from him if we're going to do this big comeback. So I think he thought it was a good matchup, and I think because they trained prior, that wasn't normal Bisping. Bisping pushes the pace. I think he was so worried about the takedown, rightfully so. I don't think that Bisping didn't look great to me either.
No, he looked very
super
stiff.
hesitant and stiff, and he looked like Father Time was like, "Yo, man, tonight's your night."
I don't think it was a Father Time thing. I think it was in the back of his mind. I mean, he was very openly admitting that GSP dominated those training sessions that they had in 2006. And he was saying, look, I'm much better than I was back then, which I'm sure he is, but you can only get so much better.
It's also a mental thing.
Yeah.
Like, damn, when he did that, and he's impossible to get off. So
Yeah.
I think he was very reserved. But I thought after 4 years, hell yeah, George looked good. Did George look good enough to beat like a Whitaker or Yoel Romero? Probably not. Not to hate on not to hate on what's going on right now because the epic night. I just look at the real middleweights, meaning Whitaker, Yoel, Luke Rockhold.
Yeah.
And with those cardio problems, I was like, this was a fun one. And you're crazy if you think he's gonna fight again at 85. That ain't happening.
I don't think so either.
I can promise you that's not happening.
I think he drops right back down to 170.
He's fighting Woodley next.
Yeah, when I was thinking about him fighting, and Woodley's no fucking picnic.
That's not a cakewalk.
That ain't a good time.
Matchup-wise, that's very tough for GSP.
But, Woodley's been dealing with a shoulder injury. He hurt his shoulder pretty bad in that fight early in the Thompson fight. And so what he does about that is that's what's up in the air. If he chooses to have surgery, I believe he has, I don't know if he's talked about it, but I think he has a labrum tear. So the question is what he decides to do about that.
I heard him say about Colby Covington, we should talk about him. He's killing me lately, but
yeah, but
in a good way. But he was saying, he goes, yeah, my shoulder's messed up, but it's good enough where I could whoop Colby's ass. Now, is it good enough to whoop GSP? Probably not. But Whitaker's out too.
Yeah.
If
Whitaker's almost back.
If they do another interim belt at welterweight, I'm gonna bust. I'm gonna freak out. If there's more intern belts, I'm gonna freak the fuck out.
If they do who would they do?
Well, if Woodley has to do surgery and then GSP's like, nah, I'm not
versus
fighting.
Covington.
Oh my god. Or GSP versus someone down there.
GSP versus someone would get a lot of press.
Yep.
They think they got over 1 million pay-per-view buys Saturday night.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so. I thought it was gonna do around 700s.
They might have got 1 million just from Canada. They said Canada was tracking higher than the pay-per-view for Mayweather versus McGregor.
Really?
Yeah.
Canada, come on.
Canada's crazy for GSP, bro.
Love him some GSP.
I mean, he won Athlete of the Year back when the UFC was like not nearly as popular.
It's true. He's
pre-Ronda and pre-Conor. He won Athlete of the Year
Well,
in Canada.
now obviously there's the Conor McGregor effect, but there's no one in the UFC who can go to Canada and sell out the Bell Center,
No.
Giant Toronto. Now you can do that. His next fight, you can go up there and do that.
Oh my God, his next fight, now he's the middleweight champion of the world? Holy shit. Jesus Christ.
You know in his contract, and Dana said this, but contracts are like pinky swears in the UFC. They're kind of like, all right, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I think, in his contract, he said this, and it's in his contract, he has to defend the middleweight title, but again, I don't think it's going to happen. Because you hear, if Freddie Roach talked about how 85 is not where he wants to be at, when they asked him what's next, and then also remember, all this adds up. It's easy to figure out. You don't have to be fucking Sherlock Holmes. Whitaker was cage side. If that fight was next, the way you rip your promo is bring Whitaker into the cage. They're like, nah, son, you're good. You sit there. You ain't coming in here. We don't need that right now.
Sober October's over.
It's definitely over.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Whitaker, I'm sure would want that fight. But
Hell yeah, he'd want that fight.
I don't think GSP was ever really considering it.
No, I don't. It's just not a possibility.
I think GSP.
Woodley's next.
But, yeah. With Woodley injured, here's the real crazy question. If Conor defends against Tony, and that's a big fight.
Which I heard is in March. That's the rumors.
What do you think about GSP versus Conor?
I know, right? What? I'm whispering because it's crazy. A lot of things have to happen in order for that to line up. So Conor would have to beat
lose
Tony,
a shitload of weight.
which I think he's down to do.
He was a gorilla. When I interviewed him at the weigh-ins and I put my arm on him, I was like,
He's too
what
thick,
in the
though.
fuck, dude? He's giant
Yeah,
now.
but it's too much. It was just too much. It was like
huge.
Yeah. It's just
He's way bigger. Like, he looked like 200 plus pounds when he got into
his
the
frame's
octagon.
so much bigger than Conor.
Yes.
But just the magnitude of that fight, they do it at a catch weight. That's a super fight. When we talk about super fights, now that's a motherfucking super fight.
It would have to be at 170, but if they did do it at 170.
Conor would have to get through Tony.
Yeah.
GSP's going to have to beat Woodley, and then you get an end of next year. There's a lot that has to line up because Conor
That's a
beating
big if.
Tony's
Beating
a
Woodley's
tough
a
one.
giant
But
if.
even if he doesn't, it's still a super fight, right?
If he loses by devastating knockout, it's not a super fight.
Yeah, you know,
We're
I'm
probably
trying to see
not
that.
going to see GSP again. You know, the thing about Woodley is if Woodley wins, you're probably going to the hospital.
Unless your name's Wonder Boy, and then
Well,
you're probably going to sleep
yeah.
on the couch as a fan.
Well, Wonder Boy fight at least went to decision, but there was moments in that fight where it looked like Wonder Boy was going out.
Hell yeah.
I mean, Woodley puts people excuse me. Woodley puts people to sleep. I mean, he hits fucking hard. But here's the question: like, how much damage has been done to his shoulder, and what needs to be? I mean, it's a labrum tear, whatever sort of a tear it is. Can it be fixed with stem cells? Can it be fixed with rehab, or is it damaged to the point where he's going to need surgery? Because if he does, he's likely out a year. That's what Kane had. Kane had labrum surgery. He was
Correct.
out for a year.
It's a rough one too to
It's a
come
rough
back
one.
from.
Yeah, it's not an easy road back, and especially, excuse me, if you're someone who has that wild punching style like Woodley, think about how much fucking torque that guy puts in his punches, and he might be the heaviest hitter in the history of the 170-pound division. You watch that fight with Josh Koscheck, or watch that fight with Jay Heron.